We are going to have a good time tonight. Welcome to the Big Hammock Podcast. Gentlemen, I don't even know what episode we're on. We are tuning in from Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, Apple, YouTube, and then obviously shared on the Facebook platform at Big Hammock. And then we're going to make no bones about it. We are doing this podcast to promote this movie. We need you to purchase this film. Big Hammock, thebighammock.com, all one word, thebighammock.com. Get your DVDs, Blu Rays, digital copy, and I assure you, you won't be let down, will you, gentlemen?
No. It's epic. And it was at Epic.
And we're going to talk about that, but I do want to say, stay tuned to the end of this episode. We do have another announcement to make. We've been full of announcements since we've been doing the podcast. Some exciting things to come in the future. So, welcoming back to the show, we got Foolish, B-Mob, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this the Artist Edition because we have Drew Eubanks coming on, and Drew Eubanks is coming out with a new song called Half Paced.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, that's secret information.
Well, hey, you heard it here first.
Somebody can't be trusted.
Again,
somebody can't.
I told you, or I made it known that my research is done through the director Malcolm. So if there's anything that anybody wants to get mad about, it's him. So,
of course.
But we've got all kinds of things going on with the Big Hammock. We've got we've got some more things in the work on the music side. Some exciting things coming that are in the wraps. So stay tuned for that. But I first episode with you guys post premiere.
Mm-hmm.
When we reflect on that first episode, Foolish, I can't help but think of you. You made no bones about it. You wanted to see the movie pre-premiere,
Yeah.
and you had to wait for the premiere.
Yep.
Was it worth the wait?
Definitely. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Certain scenes shocked me because even though when you're there and you're filming it, you're like, oh man, this seems kind of But then when you see it on the screen and it's put together well, like the director did his thing. So
you had no
crazy.
idea what it was going to look like on the movie. You just kind of you put your faith in him, and he, made it look the way it looked in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, I even kind of forgot that we were shooting the movie just to kind of forget about it. I do that with like albums, mixtapes. I kind of forget and then just keep working on stuff until I get like a certain thing. But then once I found out, I was like, oh yeah, it's about to be crazy.
I will say, Foolish, you definitely look like a natural on that screen. And I think that, this was your first film being on the big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. But with doing that with Malcolm, and there's no trick here.
Okay.
We're not doing any tricks,
sure
right?
No,
there's no tricks here.
Randy
No,
Moss.
we're not doing any kind of.
Yeah, that was the first. Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah.
But you showed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were a pivotal character in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of this, circling around. We talked about starting from the Red Room days.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that trust was there in Malcolm. You were on edge. For what, right? You know what I mean? The woods.
Ticks.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Did you get any ticks?
No, I kept moving around.
Yeah.
I was told to just keep moving around. Sip some moonshine, move around. Sip some moonshine, move around. And
they just told you that just to keep you there, right?
Yeah. But I was blocked in anyway. There was like 10 different cars behind mine, so I had no choice but to stay.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was a crazy experience. But he knows he needs me to crawl in a sewer. I'm there. Under a mobile home, let's do it. Eiffel Tower, I'm with it. Let's do it. Right?
Nah, I'm good.
I'm
good.
You're going.
Foolish, I'm sorry, B-Mob, you really impressed me with your acting in the movie.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You showed out. You delivered some lines that made some people bah ha ha laugh out loud.
Yeah, I had the most controversial character.
It was good. It was fitting.
Only black man in the woods.
I had to do my thing. I had to represent.
Worked out.
Represent. I couldn't go alone. I had my team with me.
We were talking before about the event, and I remember when we started out, promoting this thing. You guys were closing it out like the pros you are. You know, it's going to be epic at epic, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it was, but we were talking before here just how epic it was.
People were sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
All the seats were taken.
Yep.
We had the biggest theater there. Our flyer was next to Thunderbolts. Sold out show. When you got the director sitting on the stairs because he'd rather the fans and the supporters because you got to think about something. Once you do a movie or once you do episodes or once you do whatever, anything that has a price on it, the people that actually pay for it, like the albums, we put stuff on iTunes and stuff like that. You know, you buy it. You could either pay $10 for the whole album or you pay $1 for the song. People might as well go buy the whole album, you know? So with the movie, it's the same thing. It's like they paid for the movie, they watched it in the movie theater, and they're still going to pay for it after because it's how you make your fans feel. You get what I'm saying? You make them feel warm and fuzzy and important, and you know, because they're their supporters. Without them, really, I mean, it would have just been 20 of us in the movie theater. You get what I'm saying, watching it. But you know, so it was a crazy experience, to be honest. Way better than the Florida theater.
B-Mob, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, it was an amazing experience, like to see the final product and see everybody come out and have a good time and enjoy themselves. And you know, they had us out there signing autographs. I never signed an autograph before, so that felt great. Everybody responded well, and y'all got to see it, man. Make sure y'all get it. Get your copy, digital, physical, however you want to get it. Make sure you get it.
Drew, you're on the edge of your seat.
I have to be. If I'm going to be honest, I have to be.
What were your thoughts on everything? Was this your first movie experience on the opposite side of thing, casting and?
Oh yeah, I've never done anything like that before. No, Malcolm asked me, and I was just like, "Sure, man. Yeah, it's for you."
Let's talk about that, right? So Malcolm asked you, like, you had to have some trust and some type of faith between Malcolm. How long have you known Malcolm?
I think most of our lives. I can remember Malcolm. He's the same age as my little brother, so I can remember him going out to the football field like middle school, like elementary school.
Varsity Blues.
So,
Drew, you're a couple years older than me, but I remember your little brother riding the school bus with me.
right.
He was my brother's age, wasn't he? Are you and Bane the same age?
No, Bane's younger.
He's okay. I got you. Yeah, but you've got another brother,
Right.
Zach.
Right.
So yeah,
He's the middle
I
brother.
went to. Is he's your middle brother?
Yeah.
He was a couple years older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it was the first time for me, man. I was just glad to help Malcolm. Like I said, I was hoping for a musical. I wanted like a John Travolta start, but
Saturday Night Fever.
you know, the comedy was just as
Grease.
Yeah, because there was no spandex, so I was just waiting to
Right.
like Peter Pan through the woods.
good. Yeah, I
You get
always
what I'm
seen that
saying? Like,
trajectory for
yeah.
my career. Yeah.
You know, like, bro, they bring you in through the thing like Sting
With
from
the-
WCW, and you're just floating through the woods. and you're like,
Nah.
I'm
you
the only
said
one that
you
brought a
wanted-
gun. Like,
said you wanted
you know.
spandex and sequins,
Yeah, bro.
You wanted the
You know,
shimmer and
he said a
shine.
High School Musical. That's what you need to make it happen.
Right. Next
won.
time.
Nah, but they were. I'm gonna tell you what. He's a natural.
Absolutely.
He reminds me of like
Absolutely.
Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson, Joe Dirt. Because you had to play that character. You had to play that
Joe
character.
Dirt.
Okay.
God dang, I didn't know what you know what I'm saying.
Right,
Like
right.
that, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take
I'm on
that.
point.
I'll
I know.
take all of those.
But
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like y'all two, you gotta think about it. Y'all are brothers. So y'all have that. The director, you gotta understand. Like Quentin Tarantino, like all them. It goes back to the director. Like he knew. Because
right.
you gotta think we did the table readings. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody had no choice but to learn that character. Even Carousel. You know what I'm saying? With everything, she still. I'm proud of her because she did her thing.
Yeah, that
she
was a
stuck it
perfect
through. She
one.
didn't give up.
And it turned out good.
Everybody did their thing, and like I said, no matter how much tensions flare in the woods, where tensions usually flare, Blair Witch, everything. Think about it. You know.
Can you tell a story about that? Because that's like the second time I've heard a comment on that. Did
What?
somebody get mad at somebody at the woods?
No, I don't.
The whole time in the woods.
He was mad the whole time. In the
Oh,
hook?
I was pissed, dude. Like,
There's definitely
oh,
some
bro,
angry
just
moments.
come on. It's like,
There
you
was some
know,
angry
about
moments.
3-4 hours and then you're good. And then next thing you know, it's supper time. I got out there at 8 a.m. if I don't recall. And then, my phone's going crazy. It was wild, bro. But I
So
did
you
it.
didn't like being out there, not one bit.
Bro, I hate.
laying on the ground.
I'd rather sleep under a jungle gym than be in the woods. Like being in the woods sucks, bro. Like I don't know how you guys do it. You guys hunt for 4 or 5 hours and you got to be quiet and you can't be on your phone. I'd go insane.
Yeah, I don't have the patience.
I'd be
for
like,
hunting.
deer, where are you? I'd be making like crazy calls and stuff. I can't do it. I sat in a tree stand one time and I'll never go back.
I like shooting. I like
course.
and
Right,
I like catching fish. But I
can't
do
catch
not
nothing,
like
bro.
waiting in a deer stand. I do
Yeah.
not like throwing lines and not reeling anything in.
That's my problem. Every time.
I don't have the patience
Yeah.
for it.
I can wait for it. I like to eat, so I
Right.
I
But
got
it was
you.
more of a frustration. Let's put it that way. There was mosquitoes.
That's
there was
okay.
Blood
That's-
smell. There was Bigfoot smell. There was poop smell. There was just 17 acres, bro, of land. So it's like there's anything out there.
Yeah, now I got to go back and watch the movie again just to see.
Frustration.
Yeah,
Trying to
pay
hold it
atten-
back, and that shows you I was kind of like a Ben Affleck mixed with a little, Christian Bale in the woods. Not the voice. That was that was old Jakey.
Affleck and Christian
And-
Bale.
and-
He was giving me Sling Blade vibes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
definitely
yeah.
Sling Blade vibes.
Okay.
I was just talking with you earlier, Drew, and we've met 2 or 3 times before this.
Right.
And I'm being told that your character was just you amplified. And it was even said during an
Yeah.
interview. But I'll tell you right now, as I'm sitting right here, and any time I've ever talked to you, the character you were in that movie and who's sitting here now are 2 different people.
Mhm.
You think?
Mhm.
2 different people. And Foolish agrees with me. B-Mob?
100%, bro.
I agree.
Yeah, like you nailed your character. Okay, it was
Well,
amplified. No, we're not
I
buying it.
appreciate
We're
that,
not
but
buying it.
it was easy, like I said, being with my brother
Mhm.
and doing that. I mean, we really did. We just tried to amplify our normal type of interactions together.
You know what y'all did?
We,
You kept it genuine. You kept it
Right.
real. You
That-
you had fun.
we just
Yeah.
went
Your
extreme
your
with it.
vibrato it hit a certain, you get what I'm saying? It hit a certain octave to where, like I said, the Joe Dirt comes in because that's what you hear when both of y'all go to talking.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, mama going, you know what I'm saying? Like, God dang, like, I didn't know it was the Bigfoot, skunky, like that shit.
We gonna be on the National
Yeah,
Geographic.
Geographic. Like, think about this. Think about this. I'll do you one better. Think about how many takes we took
Right.
at everybody's part. I had to fall on a log multiple times, So, but multiple takes until you get it, think about, how much you did for that to where you got it, where the director was like, that's the one.
Right.
You get what I'm
right.
saying? Like, y'all actually, like, jumped into character every time.
Yeah. Well, we tried to live it, man, and we had Malcolm's help.
I
He
know.
just guided us.
Malcolm's
He made
insane.
it easy.
I think it's where that collaborative effort comes in, right?
Right.
Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, he had this vision, but then we also had our freedom to do whatever we thought. And you really heard that in the bloopers. Did either of y'all have
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
watched it again
Yeah.
yet with the bloopers?
I have the
Yeah.
DVD. I stole one. I ain't gonna lie.
B-Mob, you have
I
it?
ain't paid for
I've not
shit.
B-Mob?
I stole one.
Malcolm, B-Mob has not seen the bloopers yet.
I have not
Are
seen
you for real?
it. No, I ain't seen it.
Hey, just so you know, you made the cut.
Oh,
Right.
God. That's scary on so
Did you
many
leave during the
levels.
credits?
I had a bunch of
Did you leave
bloopers.
during the credits?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
No, sir.
But I brought up the bloopers because you made it there too, but you could definitely see that play out the way that you are talking about, where it was you and your brother amplifying it, because you can actually hear in the bloopers Jesse saying, "Oh, we can just as easily do that, or we can do this." Like,
Right.
you could definitely tell that you guys were out there just having fun, trying whatever worked.
Well, we talked about it before. Our main thing was just making sure Malcolm was happy. That was
Mhm.
literally what we talked about. Let's just do what we can, do it as best we can, and as long as he's happy and gets what he wants, and it actually turned out way better.
You gotta think
when I
about-
seen it. It
yeah.
was incredible.
Yeah,
man,
you-
really.
Because feeding onto that,
Crazy.
you got to think, like, you have a director that, like, reached out to all his, lifelines. Like, you know, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You got a lifeline, you got 50-50, you got
Mhm.
he literally reached out to every single person in his phone. Hey, this guy works at a towing company. I'm gonna call this guy. Hey, this guy, Florida Wildlife, I'm gonna call this guy. You get what I'm saying? And everybody, there was no number put on it. There was no price put on it. It was like everybody genuinely was like, you know what? We see the vision, and that's what's crazy is when you see the vision as a whole with everybody. Sorry, didn't mean to hit your mic, but
Dang,
when you see
you
the vision,
guys are really trying to put him
his
to work
mic
with
was
his
all the way
editing
over
and
here
just-
anyway, so it was in my way. I helped him out. No, but when you see the vision as a whole, it's like it's crazy when you see all those people to come together. Because us being behind the scenes when it's not our scene,
Mhm.
and us being music
Mhm.
artists, you get what I'm saying? That's a whole different. Music videos are not what we did. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, I heard a bunch of people like, "Oh man, they put that thing together like a music video." Like, no, hell no. You gotta understand what this man went through. Because I even went to Travis and I was like, "Man, you're what happened? You're amazing right now." And he's like, "No, that's all Malcolm, bro." And I'm like, "Get the." Like, I never judged the director because I've been with him so long and I've seen him do some crazy things. But you would think he'd be like, "Hey, Travis, kind of look this over and see if you could do." No, he did everything himself. The
Yeah.
scenes, the transition, the everything, like everything was really real. And that's what really got me because I was up there crying, but I was laughing so, bro, I'm telling you, my partner from work that bought a ticket, he snuck out of work 2 hours early, risking his job to come see the movie. He sat right here during the podcast. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, he didn't care about work. He was like, I bought a ticket. I'm about to go and support.
I'm coming.
You
to
get what I'm
support.
saying? And he went and he's sitting up there. He's kicking his feet on the recliner chair. He got a vodka. And at the end of the movie, he goes, "Listen, bro, I fall asleep to really good movies on Netflix. This movie kept me awake the whole time, engaged, not a dull moment." You get what I'm saying? I see nobody asleep, nobody nothing. It's insane, bro.
Bro, I had people coming up to me like that following week at
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
asking me questions about the movie
Yep.
and, you know, what did y'all do to do this and whose character, you know,
Yeah.
who is this based off of and how did y'all come up with this, that, and the other? I'm like, yo, it was my bro. My
The
bro put
director,
it
bro.
together and he made
Yeah.
it happen.
It's crazy.
You just segued into what the announcement was going to be at the end, and we're not at the end, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this.
Good way to word it. He's like, "Ah, damn, I done messed it up."
We are
We didn't
going.
even know.
No. We're good.
Oh.
That's what this is
Oh.
a podcast, right? We're good. So we are going to do a Q&A episode.
Okay.
Ask us anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And the way that we're going to do that is listeners, go ahead and go into the comment section of whatever platform you're listening on. Ask a question. We're going to try to get through and to get back and do an episode where we are answering questions.
Okay.
And that was a perfect lineup there, B-Mob. So
Awesome.
tell your friends at work, tune into this podcast tonight that you're on, which I'm
And
sure
drop
they
the
will.
questions. Yeah, drop the
You know,
questions.
drop some questions in the comment section, and we're going to go ahead and have a Ask Us Anything episode in the near future for the Big Hammock podcast. So brought to you on, what is it, Breaking News?
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
yeah.
And there wasn't there the newscast on the Big Hammock
Yeah,
movie?
yeah, that was the I can't remember. He pulled it off.
Juan
with-
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Juan Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Juan
Yeah.
Gonzalez. Are you talking about the blooper? I'm
Yeah.
Juan
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
I think he came too. I think Juan Gonzalez
The
came.
real Juan
Yeah, because
Gonzalez.
he does do a
Yep.
podcast and everything.
Mhm.
He's dope, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody that sees the names in the credits, they should literally go on their social media,
Mhm.
type those names in, and follow those people because you never know what anybody's gonna do. You
Mhm.
know, so we all got stuff going on that's epic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what was your biggest, and any of y'all can answer this, like what was your biggest I don't know, aha
Wow
moment,
moment?
the
Oh,
wow
oh,
moment of the
okay.
movie that was just like, dang, he delivered. Like he blew me away on that one.
As soon as the screen came on.
I'm with you.
As soon as the screen came on, I'm like, huh? Okay, it's for real.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
for
I
real.
think
Yeah.
the same. And the opening scene where carousel and everybody's, and I was
Yeah.
laughing the whole time.
I'm
I'm gonna tell you
watching-
what's crazy is so the seriousness, the comedy overrided the seriousness,
Mhm.
which made it more epic because that's who we all are. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like every time we all get together, because we're all family.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that it's like a Billy Madison
Yep.
movie. You
Right,
get what,
right.
or
Yep.
Happy Gilmore, whatever. Everybody grew up with one another some way, somehow, which tied into each other. So
Yep.
that connection and vibe alone made
Mhm.
even just the film, the table reading.
Yep.
Mhm.
We were going crazy in the
Yeah,
table
those
reading.
were fun.
We had no AC, we had AC. We had AC, we had no AC. Y'all remember that? We were sweating like
Yeah, it
crazy.
was in there
Hey, the
sweating.
warden was sweating so bad. You remember that? Hey, I'll never forget that day, bro. That was the
We called him
highlight.
the warden. What?
Yeah.
Damon will be happy with that one.
The
We called him the
warden.
warden.
Spare square. Oh man, y'all go follow Lobo on Facebook too.
Lobo.
Gotta follow Lobo and the Big Hammock.
Somebody said something about Lobo the hobo the other day.
Oh, they
I
loved
couldn't-
him.
Oh yeah, absolutely, they loved him. He was a
Yeah, he's one of the best characters.
He's got to be in the music
absolutely.
video. My buddy at the movie theater was like, "Yo, I need him in the movie theater." That's the intro. Him coming up to me, and I just give him a whole wad of cash, and then spare him a square.
I think
and
you
then-
can sign up for that one,
Yeah.
right?
spare him a square,
Yeah,
and
right.
then the music starts. Nah, but yeah, it was crazy.
So I brought up the bloopers. Sorry, B Mob. The bloopers that you were in. You
Yeah.
made a couple of them.
Yeah,
And you kind of had your rapping skills kind of just bust out in a lot of those. You know.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've watched the bloopers, and there was somebody that I wanted to, while we're on this podcast, really give a lot of credit to, and shout out to Chuck.
Oh,
Listen, Chuck was the unsung hero of this
Mhm.
movie
yes.
because he was at every single shoot,
Right.
doing sound, lighting. He was at every single one of them, and boy. Did we have some? Did Malcolm have some fun with him on the?
Every time.
The funniest part of that was when I think he was it Argenis? He was holding the light.
Wait, when we were outside?
Yes.
No, so when we were outside at the at the Big Hammock, it was Chuck and it was Chris. And then the director was just like, give me this, I'll set the camera up, I'll block the sun, and I'll hold the mic. And then he's just like that. And then he did it. And he's like, that's how you're supposed to do it. And he didn't do it in a way that was like disrespectful. He's just like, this is literally all you have to do. So basically, if I can do it by myself, then there should be no reason. It's not their fault. It doesn't make them any less of a person. It's just
I just thought it was funny because he goes.
that was crazy.
Hey, Malcolm goes, I know, bro. I'm sorry. It's my bad. I'll get you more help. It's
Yeah.
like, there is no more help coming
There's
along.
nobody
with it.
else.
There is nobody
Those are
coming.
grandparents, cousin, and aunties. That's the only people we didn't hit
There's
up.
nobody
You
else.
better do what you gotta
But-
do.
And he did a good job in his part.
Yes,
in the movie
Chuck
too.
saved
That
the day with
was
his very Billy Bob Thornton-esque act.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like Billy Bob.
Yeah.
Actually, in
Yeah.
that scene.
And Gibson did good. I'm gonna give it to him. At first, I was hard on Gibson in the woods, not because I was frustrated about being in the woods, but because the director was getting
Had
frustrated.
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with that at all.
Kind of he was getting frustrated. So I was just like, Gibson, you gotta tighten up. You gotta, just give it to him, bro. Make it mysterious. As long as Gibson makes it mysterious, he's perfectly fine. And I feel like he did it without trying. You get what I'm saying? Like, think
Gibson's
about it,
middle
bro.
name- Gibson's middle name.
Think
is
about it. At the
mysterious.
end, it blew my mind, bro, because I wasn't there for every shoot. So, like, the shoots, I'm going to let the fans see all this stuff that haven't seen it yet, but I'm just going to let y'all know it's crazy, bro.
You are
Like,
one bad son of a gun, foolish.
It's crazy, bro.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, trying
See
to
how I hit
sell
that
something
break?
right now.
You see how I
son.
hit that break?
What a
Come
great
on.
that boy
Come
bad.
on,
son.
Hey, you take him up here and then you hit the break. Wait a minute. I'll let you decide for yourself, You got to catch on. But no,
Bro.
yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was insane, bro. It was crazy. It was epic.
It was epic at the
Plain and simple.
epic.
At the epic.
So we already kind of talked about this, but we're going to do the Q&A.
Okay.
And listen, B-Mob, you were talking about your friends asking things at work and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to give the listeners an opportunity. You've all asked questions, right? For example, I'll just go ahead and to kind of tee up what this would look like. I had some questions asked myself, and B-Mob, if you wanted to have, take this chance to just go ahead and answer some things. That way we can kind of get our listeners' minds going. I'm sure they already have questions, but there was Dave at the racetrack, the Ocala Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
Been a great fan, and he's told me he's hooked on these podcasts. And we've had a number of people tell us that they're hooked on these podcasts, and we can definitely see it, with the views and the comments and all that. But he asked, his question was, man, where did you guys find the time?
I've heard that one. I've heard that.
And the thing is, legitimately, when we really talk about, how much time it took, obviously for the director and Chuck, that it took a lot of weekends, right? Because we all have full-time jobs, right? We all have extracurricular things that, we all have families.
Yep.
I got 5 kids myself.
We live in hanging out.
I've got a full-time job. I've got a side hustle that I do. And then this movie, I do the racetrack, all that kind of stuff. And it was like, where do you find the time?
Right.
And, for us, it really, again, the scenes that I were in, you two weren't in, right? The scenes that I was in, you weren't in. And there were some scenes that you were in that they weren't in, and vice versa. We were able to definitely make that work. It didn't really take much of our time. But I will say this to say, anybody who's interested in doing this stuff, don't let time be an excuse.
Right.
Right? Like, somebody shared this wealth of wisdom with me a long time ago. Said, you work 40 hours a week. Some of us, I work 50 to 60, and then you add up your 8 hours of sleep. If that 6 to 8 hours, some people get 4 hours, whatever it may be. By the time you start adding up between your work hours and your sleep hours, there's another full-time job left over in the week as far as hours go. And when you start to realize how much time there is, number one, make sure you got your priorities in order, right? But then for me, when you establish where those priorities are and you see how much time you have left over, whatever I'm involved with in the moment, I make sure that I'm 100% there. So like, when I'm doing this podcast right now, this is all that's on my mind, right? That my cell phone's put down. My cell phone's put down. You guys did the same thing, right? He started rolling. You had your phones on. I watched you. You guys were both on your phones. Put them down right away. There's nothing else important. It's on those phones right now. Same thing with the movie. When I was in that movie, and it took some preparation. Did we not have to memorize our lines and what we were doing? It took a lot of time just to get prepared for that, but we made sure that we put in the effort to do that, and then we made sure that his time was on point. So, for anybody that's thinking about, getting involved with something like this, I assure you, you have the time, right? And I'm looking at a group of guys here. We're all hustlers. It's not like we just sit at the house and we're, not doing anything to provide for our families or whatever it may be. We're all hustlers. So, B-Mob, did you have anything you wanted to?
The funniest thing for me is that my boss came to the movie. And he's the funniest one that asked me that question. He said, "Movie? When did you have time to shoot a movie?" Because he knows my schedule. He knows I'm working. And he's like, "When did you have time to shoot a whole movie?" I'm like, "Man, we got it done Saturday or Sunday, early in the morning, evening, midday." When he called, "Hey, we can shoot this today, da-da-da-da-da," we on the way. Everybody linked up. We met up. We had Dunkin' Donuts and donuts. And
y'all had Dunkin' Donuts?
Uh-oh. Oh, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. My bad, bro. My bad. Hey,
Damon is fixing to get. Hey, I assure you, the next movie, catering.
I'm high maintenance. I had a limo, fruit bowls. You know what I'm saying? 24/7.
Yeah,
wait
I
a
did
minute.
too.
Air conditioned dressing
I had a
room.
trailer.
I feel like I was on time, but I'd never seen no Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. We
First
had a
of all, so
buffet.
you were never on time.
We had a whole
I was always on
buffet.
time.
You were never on
I
time.
was always
sir.
on time.
You were never on time.
Towards the end, I was a
You
little
were never
late.
on time.
Towards the end, I was a little late.
I was the
getting
only black
frustrated.
guy, but you were on black guy time. And you were never on time.
Hey, I was getting frustrated, bro. Listen, being in the woods for a year, it felt like I was in a damn concentration camp or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I was literally stuck in the woods, no matter what. And then I worked with the director outside of the woods. So like we're on lunch break and we're talking about, hey, this weekend we're gonna get everybody in gear. I said, yeah, text everybody now, let them know.
Bro, I memorized how to get there.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to use the GPS.
I passed the driveway a little bit. 'cause
I got
it's
lost
It's not an
every
actual
time.
driveway.
Every time?
You get
I
what I'm
got
saying?
lost
Yeah.
every time.
Man,
It's kind of like the driveway you wouldn't want to turn down, so you have no choice but to pass it, and then you got to U-turn and be like, yeah, that is it.
The
Yeah,
driveway you wouldn't want to
yeah.
It was wrong turn.
Yeah, basically like the last house on the left.
not
go.
going that way.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was just like, here we go. Let's see who's gonna show up. Let's see because we had people that that's another thing. Like, people don't realize what a director goes through. Like, you have everything mapped out in your head, and then certain people won't show up because everybody has a life going on. Back to what you were saying, like me, I was working with the director, but then I still have the studio. So like after work, we get off at 3, 4 o'clock. I go home for an hour, then I'm back at the studio till like 2 a.m. So then when he's like, "Oh, the weekend," I'm like, miss money, go shoot this video. This is one of my best friends, so I have no choice but to no sacrifice, no victory. And then seeing the movie for the first time at the movie theater was the victory.
It was all worth it.
The bites, the ticks, the fake, whatever. They'll see. They'll see.
They'll see.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Tumbling and rolling in the woods and all that. It was all worth it.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
Fun times. Drew, where can we get these DVDs and digital copies and Blu-rays at?
TheBigHammock.com.
One word, TheBigHammock.com.
Yeah.
The big hammock.com.
Remember, we got Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, what's
YouTube
the other one?
Topic too. Topic YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube.
Big Hammock. Just go
Snapchat.
anywhere.
I know
Type
I'm
in
missing
the
one.
Big Hammock.
Apple. We're missing Apple.
Go
So,
everywhere. Type in the Big Hammock.
The Big
Everywhere and
Hammock.
Everywhere.
And,
Type in the Big Hammock.
tune into your next views. Any one you want to subscribe to, comment your questions. We're going to do an answer. It may be a couple of episodes down the road, but we are going to do a Ask Us Anything episode
And watch the
on the
bloopers,
Big
'cause
Hammock.
apparently
Yes,
they're good.
watch the bloopers.
I'll wait.
B-Mob.
Apparently
That's
they're
a question
good.
for
Watch the
towards the
bloopers.
end. Because I had a couple people ask me, they're like, so what happens next? You get what I'm saying? Because like the people that see the movie, they're like, what happens next? So I'm just like, oh, I don't know yet.
Hey, stick around and see.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I'm
around
like,
and
just
see.
wait and see. They're like, oh, a series, episodes.
Hang out for a little
that
while.
would be
We can't
funny,
say.
like a comedy episode. And I'm like, I don't know. You just got to wait and see. So
we definitely talked about it on the episode with Travis, Damon, and Malcolm. Movie festivals.
that's up.
Where we are going to try to get in other smaller venues that will take us.
Are we going to air it again?
We're
Not to
definitely
cut you off, but are we going to do it somewhere else for people that
maybe
didn't get a
not
chance?
locally here, but somewhere
Okay,
else for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that was another couple questions I got asked. They were like, well, hey, what about if we want to go get the same experience that the people in your city or something? It's like people want to know. They're like, oh, well, what about our movie theater?
And I'll even go as far as this. I think that if there is enough demand from the fans,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Malcolm would turn anything down from that.
Of course.
But we got to see it first. So
Yeah, we got to make it happen.
Yep.
We just got to keep doing our thing.
Yep. That's
It's
it.
epic. At the epic.
TheBigHammock.com. One word.
The Big
Get your
Hammock
merch,
play
everything.
coming soon.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, close it out.